All right.
Thank you, and welcome to the studio audience. For those of you watching back in your room, I am your cruise host, Jason, and this is All Access Pass Live. Every day we'll do one of these TV shows where I get to sit next to a legend, ask some questions, chat, catch up, and see what's going on in their lives. These are about 30, 35 minutes. They don't take all day. Just an opportunity to peek into the lives of some of our major headliners. Today, I am joined by a true, utter, and absolute myth and legend of a man, Mr. Robert Kool Bell.
All right.
The first question I have to ask right off the bat, and I know we were kind of talking about it backstage, you were on the last time we had the disco cruise, and then all of a sudden the world shut down. What have you been up to for the past couple of years? How'd you get through the pandemic in your neck of the woods?
Well, like you just said, the world is shut down a little bit. We didn't work that much. A lot of Zooming. Back into O-Town. I call it O-Town, Orlando, Florida. Oh, okay. You got some
They've heard of
O-Town
it
out there. Huh?
Yeah.
And I just kind of like, we did a couple Zoom shows with the band, and that was it. We was pretty much on shutdown for 2 years.
What are so for those of the folks watching and in the audience here, a lot of artists did Zoom concerts or these, FaceTime concerts or Zoom concerts, and it's all online. Obviously, it's just you with the camera and you're performing for a crowd. There's a lot of challenges that go with that. It's, there's always connectivity issues. Sound isn't very easy to get across correctly.
Yes.
How did you guys feel those went? Were you happy with them? Were you just glad to be done with them?
Well, we tried to make it work because guys were in different parts of the country.
Yeah.
One guy playing from L.A., Buffalo, and we had to make it all work. So it's not, you're right about the sound.
It's hard to get tight.
You get tight, yeah. When you're just playing, he's way over there and over there. It's not like last night we were all on the stage together after about 2 years.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Who gets to see Kool the Gang tonight? How many of you get to see in the show? All right, some of you get to see it tonight. You're in for a treat. I tell you what, one of the great things, if I may, if there is a great thing, one of the great things that came from the pandemic, like I said, if there is a great thing, is that the artists, and please disagree or back me up with this, artists are so hungry to be back on stage, right? Because you've lost what's been a huge part of your life for years.
Yeah.
Getting back on stage, it's cathartic to a certain extent. I'm assuming, it's healing to get back in front of a live audience.
Yeah, absolutely. We lost about 40 or 50 shows when the pandemic hit. We had tours all in Europe. We were doing the Japan Jazz Festival, Singapore Jazz Festival. We lost a lot of dates because normally we do, in a good year, over 100 shows a year.
That's a lot of dates, for the record. That's a lot of dates.
Yeah. So we know we lost.
Yeah.
But we're back. Hopefully, we have a big tour this summer in Europe again. And we're hoping that the pandemic don't hurt us again. Start shutting down countries again.
What do you accredit the success of Kool the Gang internationally to? Why are you guys so popular overseas, everywhere? I mean, worldwide, obviously. Is it the lyrics? Is it the music? Is it the combination of all of it? Why do you guys do so much overseas?
I would say it's a combination of all of it. The lyrics, the music, our shows, our fan base. I think the first time we went overseas was back in 1970. We've been going back and forth to Europe for many, many years and building our fan base. They know our songs. Sometimes they know our songs better than we do. And they speak the language. But yeah, I would say that, Jason, that was one.
We were kind of joking a little bit backstage that I think one of the, and I'm going to put words in your mouth, but correct me, it's got to be pretty cool to walk onto a stage in a country where English is not the first language, and everybody in that crowd knows every word to every song and sings along to every single song. That's I mean, there's a beauty to that. There's a heartfelt nature to that. That's got to feel pretty good when you're on stage.
Absolutely. I think the first time we started going to Japan, the artists would just sit there, and then after we finished, they would applaud. A couple more years after that, after we finished, they would applaud. Third year, they get up on their seats. I thought I was in New York somewhere. Knew the lyrics, had the look, you know. And a lot of other countries, too, you know, like that. Japan, we play Switzerland. If it's Yugoslavia, we're playing.
Yeah.
Well, we hope to play Yugoslavia this year. What's going on over there right now?
Yeah.
Poland.
You get into South America, too, right? You go down to...
Yeah, we're going down to...
Chile, right?
Chile and Buenos Aires, yeah.
It's pretty cool that you guys still tour as broadly as you do at this point of your career. You know, you're not necessarily 5 years out of the gate anymore. You guys have been doing this for some time, and you're still in demand. You're still so in demand that that's a huge compliment, and it's a testament to your music standing the test of time. You know, and your songwriting specifically and all that. It's very cool. It's a compliment, and I hope you guys can see it that way because people don't suffer fools gladly.
Yes, we do. I mean, as you get older, you get a little bit more tired, but getting on those planes. But it's been great. Like I said, we've been off for almost 2 years, and now we're back out there again. And it's great to see happy faces again after COVID.
Yeah.
No, not after COVID is still around, but that's one of the things that, you know, we play for different audience. You know, people are happy to see us, so that's a great thing. That's a good feeling.
If you don't mind, let's go back a few years. Let's do a little bit of history for folks. I know you talk about it in your show a little bit, but you guys, you're born in Ohio, you get together with your brother and some fellow friends, and you form the first band, which is the Jazzy-Acts, right? Is that the first group?
That was the first group, the Jazzy-Acts. And for our love for jazz, my brother was into John Coltrane. Dennis was into Cannonball Adderley. I was listening to Ron Carter. George was listening to Philly Joe Jones. So Jazzy-Acts was the first group. And then we changed it to the Soul Town Band. Now, the Soul Town Band, Soul Town was trying to be like Motown. And it was about 10 groups in Jersey City, and we were the backup band. So we would have to learn all these Motown songs because it's trying to be like Motown. So when we left the Soul Town Band, we became Kool and the Flames. And we got our first manager. He said, well, you guys can't really use the Flames because you have James Brown and the famous Flames. So we didn't want to have any problems with the Godfather.
Nobody wants those problems. Nobody wants those problems.
So we said, well, why don't we call ourselves just Kool the Gang? Because the music behind backing up the bands and from the jazz to the funk, at that time, R&B, we became Kool the Gang. In 1969, our first record came out. In 1969, the album was called Kool the Gang.
Kool the Gang.
The band was Kool the Gang. And our single was Kool the Gang.
Just to
Everything
keep it
was Kool
succinct.
the Gang.
Yeah. And it stuck. Gratefully, it stuck. Now, your father was a boxer? Is that what I understand? Is that correct?
Yes.
He was a boxer. And so you actually you guys moved out of Ohio, and you had some famous friends hanging around the house trying to be. Is it true that Miles Davis was trying to be a boxer and hanging out with your dad?
Yeah, well, my father was featherweight, top 5 featherweight. He fought guys like Sandy Sattler, if anybody's in the boxing game. There was a gym in New York, and the apartment that my father stayed at, Thelonious Monk, was staying in that apartment. But Miles Davis was going to come over and spar a little bit. So my father said, well, I don't know if I want to do that, Miles, because if I hit you the wrong way and mess up your lip or something, I might mess up your career.
Your dad ended his career, yeah. And am I correct in that Thelonious Monk, is that your godfather?
That's my godfather.
That's your godfather. That's very, there you go. Small world in music right there.
Yeah.
Legends representing legends. So you guys obviously had some, early on, you were playing a lot of instrumentals. Is that correct? You weren't necessarily a vocal group in the beginning.
Right.
You kind of, and we talked about this last time we were here, you kind of learned on the fly to be a vocal group, right?
Yeah, we were doing, I guess you can call them Kool the Gang style songs, like Funky Man or Funky Granny or Who's Gonna Take the Weight. And then we started more of a singing band to some degree when we did funky stuff, Jungle Boogie and Hollywood Swinging, you know. So, but then, of course, when J.T. Taylor, I guess you guys know J.T. Taylor, he joined the
lead
band.
singer, yeah.
We started doing more records, and they said that we became more pop. We crossed over. Yeah. Ladies' Night, Cherish, Fresh, and of course, the Ultimate Celebration. So, yeah.
Obviously, we don't regret getting into the singing part of the game. It's what transitioned you guys really to the forefront in terms of being one of the most recognizable groups of all time. And I believe you saw Willie Feaster and you saw Willie Feaster live, right? And that's what helped motivate you to become a better show band. Is that correct?
Yeah, well, Willie Feaster and the Mighty Magnificent, that's what they called themselves. They had a band, and they were singing, and they had 4 singers, and they were called Skip, Sonny, and the Pace Brothers. We're just coming out of Jersey City, you know, just standing up and doing our thing, because we came out of the jazz thing, the Soul Town thing. And we played the Apollo Theater, and they played it. Boy, they sent us back to Jersey City. They said, I said, this is more about show business. You just start standing up and playing. You have to perform. You know, it was entertainment. And, yeah, Willie Feaster and the Mighty Magnificent. I still remember those guys right now.
Gave you what? Sorry about that.
I still remember them right now. I wish they can come on the stage today. We'll blow them away. I wasn't kidding, but yeah.
Get you a little get back. Get you a little revenge there. Yeah.
Oh, yeah.
So 79 to 86 roughly was the heyday, as you were talking about, in terms of all those major hits. What was life like when you guys were really just everything you released hit? Everybody wanted a piece of you guys. That had to be a pretty cool time to be a recording artist.
Well, yes. I mean, it was a blessing, you know, to have hit after hit, you know. Especially in the 70s, it was more like what we did, more of the funky stuff. And although we had Summer Madness, that was a big song for us. And also Open Sesame was in the Saturday Night Fever movie, and John Travolta was doing this little thing. And
that's exactly
but then the 80s, the 80s was very good for us.
I mean, you really took over the scene in a lot of ways. I mean, you were it. I mean, there weren't a lot of other groups you would put in the same category as what Kool and the Gang was doing at that time. Legendary. I mean, not to mention a couple of Grammys, couple AMAs, a lot of recognitions, Hollywood, you know, Star Walk of Fame. And you guys have, if I'm correct, you have the Vocal Group Hall of Fame, correct?
Yeah.
And also the Songwriters Hall of Fame.
Yeah.
Is there any, I mean,
not the rock and roll yet, though.
The good, bad news of that is they're notorious for being right and wrong all the time. Yeah. I feel like there's a handful of very deserving acts that are not in there yet for whatever reason. Of all the accolades that you've been honored with, is there one that means most to you?
I would say the Grammys that we did with the Bee Gees, Saturday Night Fever. And all the American Music Awards. Yeah. But I wanted to say one thing about the 80s. We did 48 shows with Van Halen. So David Lee Roth said, listen, man. And the people said, what, Kool the Gang and Van Halen? How's that going to work? You know, so David said, listen, in the 80s, you had Celebration, we had Jump. He said, you have a ladies' night. And I didn't know this. He said, 60% of my audience are ladies, and you guys have ladies' night. He said, back in the day, we used to play your song, Funky Stuff, and Jungle Boogie in the clubs. I said, oh. And they said, well, let's go out and have a party. And that's what we did. 48 shows.
That's a long-ass party.
That but that was great. And then Kid Rock saw that. Then we did 10 shows with Kid Rock. And Dave Matthews Band, Elton John, and, you know, we did a lot of rock stuff.
That's a true testament to the versatility of your group. You know, there's a lot of world-class artists that can't necessarily cross over, right? You know, they get kind of pigeonholed into they're just R&B, or they're just funk, or they're just rock, or they're just whatever they are. It takes something pretty unique to be able to jump those fences and tour with some of those artists.
Yeah, I mean, that was great. And then you get on the show with a Frankie Beverly or the Gap Band, and they say, "Oh, you guys done went too pop. You got to bring the funk back." So we had to deal with all that, and it's been great. We're very thankful for our career right now.
They're like, "Oh, you guys are too pop." You're like, "Sorry, we're on tour with Elton John. We'll call you when we get back from our pop tour." Yeah. As you know, we always open it up to audience questions if they have them. And we have a handful. I can't get through them all, but I'll get to a few here. I've already gotten through some of them. Franz, all the way from the Netherlands. Who wrote Pursuit of Happiness?
Pursuit of Happiness, my brother wrote that. I lost my brother over a year ago. And he also wrote Celebration. One of the key writers of Celebration. And then when President Biden was running, was nominated, they played Celebration. And when he won, they played Celebration. In his speech, when he was nominated, he spoke about the pursuit of happiness, the perfect union. And my brother said, "Wow, that's great." So he came up with the song.
Oh, that's very
Union,
cool.
And Pursuit of Happiness.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Franz continues to say, who wrote it? And he said, because the lyrics are so powerful. It's up there for me with songs like Give Peace a Chance, etc., and What the World Needs Now. So very powerful words from Franz. Second question we had, when you were here last time, you were discussing a song called Royal.
What?
You were talking about a song, I believe your son wrote it. Was it Royal?
Royalty.
Royalty, thank you.
Yeah.
Was that released? Did it ever come out, or where are we at with that?
It's on the Perfect Union.
It is on the Perfect Union album. It is, okay.
Yeah, my son wrote that for his mother and women in general. I lost my wife 4 years ago, and he said, "Hey, mom's is royalty, and that women are royalty." And they came up, him and Walt, another member of the group, came up with the song Royalty. That's how that came about.
So it's on the latest album, right?
Yeah.
Okay.
We'll put it back out there.
Yeah. Thank you. Dan, who comes from Boston. Oh, that's a good question. Of all the musicians you've had the opportunity to play with over the years, are there any you would really like to play with, whether it's just for fun or on a stage or on a tour? Is there anybody left that you would love to play with that you haven't yet?
Oh, that we haven't yet.
Yeah, that you have. We'll go with what you haven't first.
Okay. Right.
Anybody you haven't played with that you'd love to play with?
Well, we'd like to take a shot at the Rolling Stones. We never played with them. I mean, we're doing everybody else.
I love the way you word that. I mean, we'd love to take a shot at the Rolling Stones. Call Mick. Get him out here.
No, people like Stevie Wonder. I mean,
yeah.
When Sammy Davis Jr. was on the Johnny Carson show, he hosted that show. It's been like Gladys Knight, a lot of different artists.
Yeah. And of the artists that you've toured with, of those artists you did tour with, who was the most fun to be on the road with? Or share the stage with, let's say.
I have to say...
I was going to say Van Halen. Watch, yeah.
Yeah, Van Halen, because that was quite interesting. David Lee Roth does this thing. He might stay at another hotel and join the guys at the sound check. I remember when we were rehearsing, we had to do a couple shows in L.A., and so we were doing the sound check rehearsal, and so were they. So David told Alex and Eddie, said, "Man, y'all, you better get it together, because we don't want Kool The Gang blowing us away." That was quite interesting because, David is David,
Yeah, that's
show business.
Yeah, of course. Yeah.
Eddie was just a hell of a guy on that guitar.
Yeah.
And Alex was Alex on the drum.
Who do you remember the first time that you were starstruck, and who was it? Like the first time you met an artist or an actor or a movie star or an athlete, whatever. The first time that you were starstruck.
Well, I would say coming up out of the 60s, maybe it was the Temptations.
Yeah.
Those Motown groups. And, because we had to learn how to play some of their songs for the Soul Town Band. We said, well, maybe one day we go see them at the Power Theater. Maybe we might be on that stage one day. And
sure enough.
Yeah, it came, man.
Is there anywhere in the world that you have not played that you would love to?
We played at quite a few.
I know. That's why. I know. That's what I'm saying. You know, there's only a few countries left.
Yeah. We did quite a bit of all of them, from Romania, Czechoslovakia, all through Africa, Australia. I don't know.
You played so many. Yeah, you've pretty much ticked them all off. I don't think. Yeah, you got them all checked
China,
off on your list.
You know.
And what's it like? Last night, obviously, you performed for the gold crowd we have here on board the ship. Tonight, you play for the silver crowd. What was it like getting on stage back on the disco cruise? I mean, last time you were here, obviously, right after we ended this cruise, everything shut down. What was it like getting back on stage with those fans out there?
Well, it was great seeing everyone again, because the last time we played was beginning of COVID.
Yeah.
And to see everybody back and everybody's having a great time, you know. I think I said something last night about, I say it all the time, hey, what you got to say? Will COVID go away? Because we want to play. And we want to see those happy faces again around the world. You know, so that was a good thing last night. I mean, who was there? Who was there last night?
Yeah.
Wow. You guys partied from the beginning to, we didn't even slow down to do Cherish. Y'all was just partying. I said, we got to keep it up.
And because of the gold crowd, we now have to have security in the main theater.
Yeah.
Listen, you run your drunk butts on stage, that's what happens. You keep your drunk butts in the audience. We don't have to shut things down. Yeah, if you missed last night's show, a young lady decided it was a good opportunity to get on stage. She was hilarious, but that was unplanned. That was not scripted. That was not part of the disco cruise or their set. It played out interestingly, but we now have security standing at the stairways on either side.
They handled it pretty good. Yeah.
But that's got to be nothing new for you guys. I mean, with your monster hits and the popularity of them, people trying to get on stage and screaming and running up, that's old hat for you guys, I assume.
Well, you know, you have to deal with the right way, because you never know who's going to come up and how they're going to come up and what they're going to do. They want to get down?
Maybe they just want to celebrate.
Yeah.
Which she did, I believe, last night. Judging by that interaction. And how many, now that obviously the world is, like you said a minute ago, you said you're starting some European tours. Do you know how many dates roughly you have for the rest of this year? Did you guys pick up a full slate? Are you back to?
I would say at least another 40.
Another 40?
Yeah, at least 40 days.
That's a good start back into it. I mean, you know, as the world slowly opens up.
Yeah, we got 20 of those will be in Europe.
20 of them in Europe.
Yeah.
Are you when you perform in the States, do you guys move around a lot, or do you particularly perform in one area? What are the states?
Well,
like?
the States, we're doing casinos, we're doing state fairs, we're doing corporate dates. We mix it up. Matter of fact, 2 weeks ago, we were at Westgate out in Vegas, and there's a possibility we might be doing a residency there. Yeah. Sharing that room with the great Barry Manilow. Yeah, that should be great.
And that room, of course, used to be
Elvis Presley.
Elvis Presley's room.
When it was the Hilton Hotel.
Yeah. That's we were kind of bantering about it backstage, and sometimes a room, the walls absorb that. When you walk into a room where legends have played for years and years and years, you walk into that room and you can feel that. That's a unique room.
It's a great sounding room.
Yeah.
A lot of history in that room.
Just a ton of history when you think about it. And you will add to that history. That'll be very cool as well. I hope that lands.
Well, we're going to see. I know they did party in there. Not taking anything away from Barry Manilow, but those people got up just like last night. See, you know, I think they're ready to party because of what's been going on, and people want to get out and have a good time. And we have those kind of songs, so we're blessed to have those kind of songs.
You do.
Thank you.
Your song list is designed to make people feel good. Your whole show last night is designed. I mean, the gold folks sitting in here, it just is a feel-good show.
Thank you.
It's built even though you guys aren't what would be traditionally considered a disco group. Obviously, you're soul, you're funk, you have some pop, you have some disco in there as well. Obviously,
Yeah.
Your show is really perfect for this cruise in my mind, purely because it's upbeat, it's fun, it's happy, and it's feel good. Your show, you could see it in the crowd if you were looking around in the Gold Show. I mean, everybody was on their feet and dancing, and people were yelling at other people because they couldn't see, and then the people standing, were yelling at the people sitting. Well, get your butt up, and then you can see. It was a great way to start the cruise.
Yeah.
I mean, there's a reason we wanted you guys on opening night. We wanted that energy on the first night, and you brought that.
Well, we're happy. We're happy to be here.
And you brought that. And
you know what happened on the last one?
Oh yeah. Silver Crown.
Bruce was canceling out. You guys asked, can you stay about 3 or 4 more days?
That's exactly what happened. Yeah, they got a call in their cabin on the last one, and we're like, we're losing people. Can you stay? And they stayed if you weren't here, and saved us in a lot of ways. Yeah, saved us in many, many ways. Well, I know you got to go start getting ready for the rest of your night tonight. You got a show. Any words you'd like to tell the folks here, part of the Disco Cruise?
Well, I always like to thank my fans and who come to see us, Kool The Gang, for so many years. It's been over 50-something years. Some groups can't stay together for 50 days.
Yeah.
Well, it's you guys that support us, and that's why we're happy, to be here, and we appreciate, your sincerity in promoting us and coming to see us.
Well, trust me.
Thank you for that.
I was just going to say, if I may speak on behalf of our crowd and all the folks watching at home, I have 100% confidence that I say we return that in spades because we are so grateful. Star Vista is so grateful that you guys agreed to come out and be a part of this. And I know the audience was incredibly grateful last night, and we'll do so again tonight to have you back with us. So thank you so much for being part of the Disco Cruise, man. I don't see this cruise without you on it in my head. So I love the fact that you guys came back.
Okay, well, thank you.
All right. To everybody out there, thank you so much for being with us in the audience, and thanks for watching on TV. I'm your cruise host, Jason. This legend right here is Mr. Robert Kool Bell from Kool and the Gang.
Thank you.
Have a great day, my friends. We'll see you out and about.
Thank you.
We love the Ultimate Disco Cruise.
They love disco. This is the place to be.
They call it a cruise, but it's a major party.
Come join the party as we celebrate the greatest dance music ever on the Ultimate Disco Cruise 2023.
This is one of those cruises where there's never a dull moment.
This is the big sing-along.
You'll see the hottest acts light up the ship day and night with live performances by Kool and the Gang, Billy Ocean, Taylor Dane, Sister Sledge featuring Kathy Sledge, Tavares, Norma Jean Wright and Lucy Martin, formerly of Chic, Evelyn Champagne King, Heatwave, The Tramps featuring Earl Young, Al McKay All-Stars, C&C Music Factory, Radio, and many more surprises.
It's 6 days, 5 nights, over 40 shows. It is amazing.
This cruise is high energy. And the superstars that are coming out here, the engagement that they have with the guests is just simply phenomenal.
One of the nicest things about the Ultimate Disco Cruise is that these musicians are on board with you.
Sailing from Miami February 25th to March 2nd, 2023 on the beautifully appointed Celebrity Summit and making sunny ports of call in Cozumel and Key West.
This has been the #1 best cruise I've ever taken.
Guess what? We're coming back next year. It was so much fun.
We will be back next year and the next year and the next year.
Ultimate Disco Cruise, baby. I'm here.
Don't miss the boat. Pack your dancing shoes and get ready to get down on the Ultimate Disco Cruise 2023.